Flint Hills 2, let's get started. Hi, I'm Jeff and welcome back to Flint Hills, or should I say Flint Hills 2. In this video I'm going to share with you the layout design for Flint Hills 2. But firstly, it was good to meet with so many of you at the Mid-Essex Model Railway Show and to receive so many nice comments about Flint Hills 1 and its running. A really big thank you goes out to Robert's Train Set, the British Railroader, SP Rail, Robfire Junction and Dusty Shelf Collections for the great YouTube coverage they did of the show, which clearly showed my layout, and yeah, I was really impressed with their work. A big thanks also goes out to my Basildon Club colleagues who covered whilst I got some drinks and something to eat, and yeah, basically if I just needed to get away for 5 minutes. And lastly, to Rule 1 Model Railway, Nicholas, for coming and visiting all the way from Ireland, and yeah, keeping an eye on things for me when I had to take a break or was too busy chatting to all of you. Now, if you miss Flint Hills, along with many of the other layouts, they will be on show at the Basildon Model Railway Exhibition on Saturday, the 28th of October, between 10 AM and 5 PM at the Wick Community Centre, which is in Wickford, and that is on SS120NR. Please do come along and say hello and have a chat and ask questions. And you'll also be supporting my local model railway club as well. Okay, so now let's look at Flint Hills 2 and let's start with the design.
So I've been using AnyRail 6 to design the new layout and to get it all mapped out. The layout is going to be a fixed layout in the train room, which is 3.2 by about 3.5 meters, and it's going to be on 3 levels, and we'll go through each of those levels. So here's the AnyRail view, and across the top of the room there is about 3.2 and about 3.5 down the sides. This is where the door is here, and I've got to build a swing so I can get in and out through that area there to give me bigger access, save me ducking under the train room. Right, so let's go and have a look at each level. So the bottom tier is going to be the fiddle yard, and just here is quite high, but we'll be coming down this long slope and into the fiddle yard. So this is where I can store all the trains now and the locos. I think there's about 8 lines there, and to get back up to the main track it will go around this curve, and then slowly from this corner point it starts to climb at about 1%, and it can climb all the way around the side, cross over the down line, and this is the up line working its way all the way back up to the next level. So I don't need a helix, I'm just doing it very slowly. The mid level is going to be the scenic and the TMD area. So following on, the trains will now continue up, and we have a 2 loops effectively here, so it can go all the way up, round, and it will start to climb again ready for the next layer. and here we've got a crossover, so it can go back and then continue round, or it can continue up to the next level. Now if it's going to be a sort of like a freight train, it can actually go round that reversing loop and then back down and round again. So we've got a nice roundy that I can run, and also I can come into this bottom TMD area and go roundy, and I'm going to have some commercial bits and bobs in there as well, so I can run some freight trains in and out. So the next top level is the station terminus, and following on from the mid level, the trains rise up again and follow this long route right round the room, and will then come back into a 6-line station terminus, when again after a period of time they will be sent back out, and obviously they'll go all the way back down. There's a couple of head shunts there storing some locos, but it will come all the way back down again and follow that route right round. Now also in the top station here, I'm going to have a road at the back of the terminus, and then a long road right along the back with some low relief buildings all the way along. So again, this will be a little bit higher up, and I want to put a road bridge in about here at the end of that, more of a as a scenic break. So yeah, we can focus on that station, and again right at the very station it'll be high up, so that obviously we've got the trains that are going to be running around underneath. So that's a quick overview, and I'll go into these layers a bit more in detail. So with my previous layout, I'm going to keep to using the YMWalk command station, the YD7001. Yes, this is the DR5000, which it's gone through its conversion. I'm very pleased with the updated version that's on Flint Hills, so I see no reason why not to continue with this onto Flint Hills 2. Great little command station, this, especially for the price. Now I'll be using the YMWalk YD8116 16-channel switch decoder, along with some remaining DigiKeys DR4018 switch decoders that I've already purchased previously. So I'm going to be using a mixture of these two, and these would be for controlling lights, signals, and all my point motors. These will be separately wired, but obviously connected to the DCC bus, but obviously powered individually. So yeah, looking forward to using the new switch decoder from YMWalk. It's certainly a lot easier to set up than the old DigiKeys one. So for track detection, I will be using the current sensing feedback with Railcom. I've got a number of existing DigiKeys DR508s with the Railcom, so I'll be using them in the first place, but I will be migrating to and using the YMWalk Railcom equivalent as soon as it becomes available. So again, I'm looking forward to using that, but I've got no problems with the existing DigiKeys products, which I'm using already on Flint Hills 1. So yep, it works perfectly fine, so I'm looking forward to using them again. The 3 reversing loops that are on the new design will use the new Lodi KSM module. In the past I've used the LS digital version, but the Lodi KSM has now superseded this. Again, really looking forward to using this. It's a great module, and if it's anything like the previous one on Flint Hills 1, it never ever gone wrong or missed a beat. So on Flint Hills 1s I use DC Concepts analog point motors, and also the IP point motors. Now the IP point motors I struggled with, because every time you get a short they lost their address. So I won't be using the Cobalt motors anymore. Instead I'm going to be using the MTB motors, Again, they're analog, and I like the MP1s and the MP5s, so they're the two that I'm going to be using. The MP1s were typically used in the fiddle yard, but the MP5s will be used elsewhere. Now, Flint Hills 1 used code 80 and Insul frog points. However, going forward, I'm now going to be using the code 55 fine scale track, and I'll be using the electro frogs and the new unifrog points from Pico. Now, the baseboards, I'm going to use a mixture of 12 and 9mm ply. There will be some wall studs to go around the walls. The bottom frame will be what I would call a traditional solid frame, very much like the one you can see in the background. The upper frames will be open, and obviously I can then just build the tops on exactly where the track is, making it more accessible for scenery and getting access to the wires and things. Okay, having said all that, let's see where we're at. So we've completed all the planning. We have now got most of the materials, and no, I haven't got permission yet. So I think what we'll do is we'll make a start and plead the case afterwards. Stay tuned. So in preparation for the new build, I've purchased 3 boxes of the concrete sleeper code 55 flexi track from Pico. And in a similar vein, over a period of time, I've been purchasing the points themselves from Pico, and as you can see, they're the Streamline code 55 electro frog, and there's a complete selection there based on the track plan. There's a few extras because I know things will change as we go along, so yeah, it's just nice to have them all ready, so when I make a start I'm not keep waiting on this and keep waiting on that to arrive, but I'm sure that will happen anyway. So I've now got a selection of the point motors, the MTB, the MP1s and the MP5s. These are the Lodi KSM reverse loop modules. I need to get one more, but that's not until the next layer, so I've just really focused on getting the bottom layer done for now. So this is the DR5000 that I'm going to convert into the YD701. I've also got myself a booster which I'm going to install purely for the fiddle yard area, for that bottom tier. I've got all my track feedback detections. I've got a few to get me going, but obviously I probably will need more going forward. And I've got my accessory decoders for the signals and for the points. So again, more to come, but it just gets me going on the bottom layer. And now the pliers arrived along with some other battens that I'm going to be using, so there's nothing stopping me now from making a start. So now let's look at this bottom level, which is the level I'm going to start with first, and let's look at it in a bit more detail. So using the AnyRail software here, I thought what we'll do is we'll take a fly through. So this will be the line that's going to slowly work its way down to the fiddle yard. This is going over the swing bridge. And this is where it'll be leaving the swing bridge, take this curve, and it'll be going down the left hand wall. You can see it's going down fairly sharply, and then it would turn and go under the track coming up and into the fiddle yard. So as we go through the fiddle yard, I'm probably going to be about 8 lanes I think of track, and I've got to just work out me blocks and feedbacks for in here at the moment. I haven't quite done that yet. You can see the line actually on the left going up, and then we'll get to the end of the room and we'll swing round all the lanes, and then they'll gradually migrate back down. But the good news is, with these lanes being this long, it means I can get some real nice long trains like my Pendolinos, all 11 cars in. So really looking forward to running them. So as we come out of the fiddle yard now, we'll go around this big loop. And so all this will be underneath, so you won't see any of this. Apologies for my camera work here, not the best. So now we're coming around that loop, and then we'll start as we turn around here. This is where the reversing loop will start, right there. So this piece of track now, which is going to be on the 1% incline going up, will be part of that reversing loop. And that will just keep going up at 1%. And then you can see the fiddle yard now below. And we're still climbing very gently at 1%. And as we get to the end of the fiddle yard, this line will cross over the down line. You can see the tunnel there. And again, we're still going up at 1%. Now, it's a bit of a... And now we're actually onto the swing gate here. So you can see the line below, which we've just gone down. And they'll gradually start to come up, and will eventually come to the same level. And there you go, there's a flyover of the bottom tier. So coming up in the next video, I'll be playing with a laser and a pencil. I'll be busy with a circular saw, and I'll be cutting through the bench. Oops. See you next time.